Water influences all areas of life. The Isosport Corporation is the world's largest manufacturer of composites and thermoplastic sheets in ski and snowboard production. The Grandeur system has been installed in the cooling water circuit for many years.
We were having problems with the water quality changing so much and causing difficulties in the cooling of our machines due to limescale and excessive algae growth. We could only eliminate these problems by using chemicals or biocides to stabilize the water. The cooling has a very important function. The plastics all have to be cooled, and the quality of the cooling is decisive for the quality of the final product. For example, if you heat a plastic article too much at home and do not cool it immediately, it will adopt some other shape. That is, it will be bent or deformed. That is exactly what happens to our products if they are not properly cooled. Before we installed the Grandeur revitalization system, the quality of our cooling water was very bad at times. I admit I was very skeptical at the time. I thought it was more of an esoteric thing. But I soon had to admit that the quality of our cooling water was getting better and better since we had started using this method. The water looks good enough to drink. As I've already mentioned, algae or slime bacteria have almost disappeared. We have been monitoring the development of the water quality for 1.5 years now, since we installed this revitalization system. Our experience is backed up by internal and external water analyses, and these definitely confirm the success of water revitalization.
Felten and Guillaume in Schrems in Lower Austria. Famous for the production of fuses and circuit breakers, the Grandeur technology has proved its value in the cooling circuit.
We manufacture various plastics for our housings for switches and consumer units. We have to cool the machinery and the tools using water which passes through the Grandeur system. We used to have to add corrosion inhibitors to the cooling water, as well as chemicals to prevent the growth of algae. Since installing the Grandeur technology, we no longer use any chemicals. This represents a saving of around 12,350 euros a year. We have water analysis results from 2 independent institutes which show that the cooling water still meets all the parameters fully.
Messer Griesheim is Austria's largest producer of industrial gases. Very low temperatures are required for gas production, and cooling plays a key role. Large amounts of energy and therefore money are consumed in the cooling process. Grandeur technology has been used successfully by the company for many years.
We had to use biocides and various other chemicals in our water treatment system. We had ongoing problems with algae growth. As a result, the heat exchange process was less effective, and we had problems in the cooling towers, leading to higher energy costs. Our problems were solved when we installed a Grandeur system. Our maintenance workload was reduced. Our total investment in Grandeur was approximately 8,000 euros. In the first year alone, we saved over 12,000 euros. To tell you the truth, we were rather skeptical at the beginning, but now we realize it's an excellent system and we are happy to recommend it to others.
Aber jetzt sehen wir, dass es eine wunderbare Sache ist und wir können weiterempfehlen.
Wiesenthal's Mercedes dealership in Vienna. The shiny cars you see here need to be washed to make them shine. You can't cut corners when you have high standards.
I have to honestly say I couldn't believe it. And then I started reducing the amount of chemicals in the car wash. And by the end of 6 months, I'd reduced them by half and the results were still the same. That was amazing. At the same time, I noticed something about the lime-scale deposits on the walls. They were still there, but they were easy to get off. They'd become so powdery. So I could stop the use of anti-scale chemicals and just clean the lime scale straight off. We wash about 12,000 vehicles a year, and we're saving money on chemicals. That's very important for the environment. We're very committed to that, and we're really glad that we can do something for the environment.
The Seeburger Corporation produces pickled products. The company's owner introduced Grander technology into the factory's production line after having a positive experience with Grander at home.
Speziell im Kühlwasserbereich, wo wir die Grander-Technologie...
The cooling water we used on our production line gave us problems with algae and bacterial slime. We had a very positive experience when we installed Grander technology. For disinfection, we had to use a lot of chemicals, which in turn caused negative effects on the packaging, such as corrosion of cans and jar caps. We had to completely change the cooling water about every 2 weeks, and also clean all the cooling circuits in the production line. This was very labor-intensive. After we installed Grander technology, we could extend our cleaning intervals to 6 to 8 weeks. We achieved a major improvement in the quality of the finished product. By stopping the use of chemicals, we stopped the corrosion of the cans. Our annual savings on the operating costs of the cooling system were over 7,000 euros.
Es waren ca. 100.000, was wir im Jahr uns dadurch erspart hatten.
The State Hospital in Steyr. Steam made from Grander water comes out of these pipes. A number of years ago, the hospital installed a Grander system to deal with lime-scale problems in their water. A key issue was heavy lime-scale deposits in their bedpan washing machines.
Ja, das Problem vorher war eben die starke Verkalkung und die verhältnismäßig kurzfristigen Wartungsintervalle.
The problem was very heavy scaling, which led to the need for frequent maintenance. We injected additives to the water, but the scaling problems were still severe. After installing a Grander system, our maintenance engineers found that the lime scale, which previously had to be chipped off with a hammer, could now be wiped off with a cloth. The lime scale had just become a paste, which was easy to rinse off. We immediately halved the use of the additive. Our expenditure of 26,000 euros a year on this additive was reduced by 13,000 euros. This 13,000 euro annual saving only reflects the cost of reduced chemical usage. If you just look at the savings achieved here, the investment in Grander makes 100% total sense.
1000 Schillinge im Jahr eingespart. Wenn man nur allein die Ersparnisse hernimmt, ist die Investition natürlich 100% richtig gewesen.
Industry pays close attention to costs, and reducing the use of chemicals whilst maintaining quality standards is an important goal. OCE Printing in Germany had serious problems with bacterial growth in its water system. The problem occurred whenever water was left standing in pipes for more than a few days.
We studied the problem to see what we could do about it, and the only solution we could find at the time to improve the water quality was the Grander technology. In February 2001, we had a bacterial count of 3,240, far higher than the 100 permitted in drinking water. Then in May 2001, we installed Grander equipment, right here. And then in June and July, you can see the figure went up slightly. But by August, the count had gone down to 0 and has remained at 0, as you can see here.
Benedict Sutter became interested in Granda when he heard that you could save on detergent by using it, and so he installed Granda equipment in his laundry. He does 10 tons of laundry a day, so using less detergent is both good for the environment and for reducing costs.
The laundry we supply has still got the same quality, but we use considerably less detergent. We definitely use 15% less than before. We've had the device for a year now, and it paid for itself within 6 months. The last 6 months have been pure profit. In the final analysis, it saves us ½ a cent on every kilogram of laundry we wash. But over a year's time, that amounts to around 12,000 euros, considering that we do 8 to 10 tons a day. The laundry gets just as clean as ever. The stains that we couldn't wash out before are still there, however. If we could get rid of them, it would be ideal, of course.
During his long years of experimentation, Johan Granda has discovered something that even ultra-modern industry is grateful for, because it saves large amounts of chemicals.
In the first test we ran before the Granda system had been installed, the water was almost a health hazard. There were millions of coliform bacteria in 5 milliliters of water. But in the most recent tests, with the Granda device installed, there were no coliform bacteria at all. Before, we had to change the water every 3 months because it had simply gone bad. There were so many bacteria in it that the smell was unbearable. Now there are no bacteria in the water, and it was 7 months before we had to change the water again. The total cost for wastewater disposal had been cut in half. We also use fewer chemicals and save money there too. It's just amazing.
China's state railway is a mammoth concern, with 60,000 diesel locomotives, a rail network 52,000 kilometers long, and 7.2 million employees. For years, engineers have been trying to reduce fuel consumption. In their search, they came across the Johan Granda system. After 2 years of tests, they have reduced fuel consumption by between 1.5 and 2% and have also reduced emissions.
当我第一次接到的话呢，我对这个功能有一定的怀疑。When he firstly being introduced the EcoGrab, he is quite suspect that it will work.
Every result is written down by hand.
Because this is really doing things. That's why he's good at it. Because this is a real testing. 因为我们做这个实验做的很多过去。Okay, he been doing so many tests. 多年？几年？过去几年？有10年。10 years. He's been doing 10 years. In the last before he retired last year. He did all kind of testing for the similar system.
过去来做呢，基本上都是0对0。
In the past testing of the 10 years, he almost tests any system, magnetic system, you know, the fuel oil addictive, all kind of system. None of them work. 0 to 0. 是不是第一个过去你那么长的时间试验的系统，第一个真的有效的？
真的有效的也就是这么一个。
The only one he ever saw it work. This is the EcoGrab.
In Shanghai, a city of 12 million people on China's east coast, Johan Granda's technology is better known than it is at home. The Chinese are also investigating the effectiveness of removing deposits from hot water boilers. At a press conference on the 16th of September 1996, they proudly presented their first research results. They say a test series has proved that deposits in the boilers are smaller and thinner since they introduced a water energizing system.
This is during July of 1995. The difference of all this is the time difference. Okay.
这3月28号这两个，这是锅桶里边的，这是下联箱的。
This is the during the March the 28th, and then this is the bottom. This is the inside of the boiler. All during the inspection time. Every time during inspection, they
新的
open up
垢
the
啊，
boiler.
这个2次结构啊，那这颜色都是浅颜色。
So this is from the new
比较
boiler,
疏松的。
and because of the time forming inside the boiler, that's why the color is lighter, and it's much looser, and much more brittle. See?
活水系统以后呢，
Through the living water
实际上
system,
就是
it's a magnetization
那么
procedure.
使水本身呢，它水分子的契合度呢，原来是多分子的，现在变成了2个分子或者3个分子，就是它的契合度变低了。这种水分子的这种契合度的变化啊，那么用在工业上头，它就显出我们现在这种作用。用在你生活上头，那就是